Amnesty International has released the latest report in a coordinated NGO campaign to associate the State of Israel with apartheid. Following the process set down by Human Rights Watch, this report both redefines apartheid to little resemble the crimes in South Africa, and it disfigures Jewish Israelis into a familiar stereotype of greed, cruelty, and bloodlust. Apartheid is an egregious crime and abomination. It is a system of legal segregation under which one ethnic group subjugates another, treating citizens of the same state differently based on their ethnicity. Exclusion from schools, professions, and public office, segregated toilets, restaurants, voting prohibition are the manifestations of this crime. Speak to any South African expatriate, and they will regale you with the full indignity, the full inhumanity of the system that once gripped that country. Equally, stand on any street corner in Israel and make up your own mind. Observe the campuses in the northern city of Haifa, where my family lives, and see Arab Israeli students in hijabs, socializing, studying alongside Jewish Israeli peers. 41% of Haifa University students are Arab Israelis. In a Harvard University poll, 77% of Arab citizens said they prefer to live in Israel than in any other country in the world. Israel has over 400 mosques throughout the country. Ask Amnesty how many synagogues remain in the Arab world. Now, Amnesty knows well such accusations have no relevance in the theatre of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It knows that the Arabs that live within Israel's internationally recognized borders are integrated, valued Israelis with full legal and civil rights. It knows also that those Palestinians who live in the West Bank do not enjoy those same rights because they're not citizens of Israel. They aspire to their own state. Indeed, the official position of the Palestinian Authority is that such a state, the State of Palestine, already exists. Why would citizens of the claimed State of Palestine have civil rights in a foreign country? The answer to why Amnesty has nonetheless levelled these charges is to be found in the worldview that guides Amnesty's decision-making, its appointment of key researchers, and its choice of targets. The former head of Amnesty's gender unit, Gita Segal, spoke of an atmosphere of terror inside Amnesty, in which debate is suppressed and staff are forced to accept the prevailing dogmas. In 2015, Amnesty UK voted down a motion to campaign against anti-Semitism amid deadly attacks against Jews in Europe. The organisation claimed it did not support campaigns with a single focus. Dubious indeed, given its anti-Islamophobia campaigns and its obsessive pursuit of Israel. But it's the incestuous relationships, the conflicts of interest running through Amnesty's work that constitute its greatest failing. The researchers Amnesty hires to write its reports rotate through anti-Western media outlets and activist groups before winding up at Amnesty, writing reports against the very people they protested against. Amnesty hired Deborah Himes as its Israel-occupied Palestinian territories researcher, despite Himes acting as a human shield against Israeli soldiers. Another senior Amnesty hire, Saleh Hijazi, previously worked for the Palestinian Authority and was the listed contact for a local NGO whose slogan is, "We are Intifada." Amnesty researcher Hind Kudari publicly declared she wanted Israel gone. Now, any of these associations should have immediately disqualified these individuals from ever touching anything concerning Israel. Instead, Amnesty prizes them as assets. And these gross failings somehow evade the attention of journalists who broadcast Amnesty reports as matters of fact, never probing their authors or the method and motives behind their work, behind their predetermined, ideologically driven reports. The apartheid slur was infamously used by Reverend Al Sharpton against the Jewish community in a speech credited with inciting the Crown Heights riots in Brooklyn in 1991. 3 days of deadly rioting ensued. The Jewish people know what it means to be slandered. We understand the power of words to encourage despicable deeds. This is why Amnesty's grave insult, absurd amnesty, cannot be taken lightly.